World War III isn't coming. It's already here. At least that's the view of Alexander Dugin, often called Putin's brain. In his latest warning, Dugin says the US strike on Iran marked the point of no return. The red lines have been crossed. The atomic taboo is broken. And from here on, nothing is off limits. But Dugin doesn't stop at military analysis. He lays out a brutal vision of what comes next: an ideological war, a nuclear war, and the final phase of what he calls the globalist endgame. Tonight on the Watchtower Report, we unpack the truth bomb that just went off in Moscow and what it means for the rest of the world. The point of no return. In recent weeks, we've seen it unfold step by step. First, Israel launched strikes on Iranian nuclear infrastructure. Then the United States followed suit, deploying B-2 bombers to destroy underground enrichment sites. And now intelligence reports suggest Iran moved 400 kilograms of enriched uranium before the attack, and no one knows where it is. This is not a limited conflict. According to Dugin, this is the ignition point for total war. He warns that the so-called red lines were illusions, used by the West to stall, divide, and provoke. But now that they've been crossed without consequences, the door is open. And what's behind that door? Nuclear retaliation, unrestricted war, and ideological collapse. Dugin invokes the principle of Chekhov's gun. If a weapon appears in Act 1, it will be used by Act 3. Nukes are on the stage, and we've entered Act 3. The globalist plan, 2 phases. Dugin's view of the conflict isn't just military, it's metaphysical. He claims the world is being dragged into war not by national interest, but by ideological design. A globalist master plan unfolding in 2 phases. Phase 1, destroy all distinctions between nations, cultures, genders, and identities. Flood borders, deconstruct religion, dismantle family structures, eliminate tradition, and finally turn sovereign states like Russia, China, India, and the Islamic world into isolated targets. Phase 2, once resistance is broken, replace humanity with AI. Welcome in the singularity. Use nuclear war to eliminate the obsolete and consolidate power into a post-human elite. This isn't science fiction. It's transhumanism with tanks. And Dugin isn't the only one sounding the alarm. Sergei Karaganov, former Kremlin advisor, openly stated that nuclear war may now be a rational choice if it prevents total Western domination. Let that sink in. The Trump betrayal. Dugin's critique doesn't spare the West or Trump. He points out the contradiction. MAGA began as a rebellion against globalism, promising to end foreign wars, defend the border, stop mass migration, reject radical social agendas. And for a time it worked. But now, Trump is backing strikes on Iran. He's supporting Israel's campaign, despite its risk of global escalation. He's aligning, perhaps unknowingly, with the very forces MAGA once stood against. To Dugin, this is betrayal, not just of the right, but of the entire anti-globalist resistance. The globalists' new strategy: hijack nationalism. But how did it happen? Dugin claims the globalist machine has evolved. When they couldn't defeat nationalism, they hijacked it. Now we're watching a perverse theater of fake resistance. Trump, a useful lightning rod, loud, dramatic, controllable. Netanyahu, the perfect blunt instrument, burning through every red line. Ukraine, a geopolitical experiment where nationalism and neo-Nazism are fused into a new tool of Western aggression. In this view, nationalism is no longer a threat to the system. It's part of it. Weaponized patriotism, militarized identity, controlled opposition, and that means true sovereignty movements, like Russia's Eurasian vision or Iran's Islamic Republic, must be dismantled by force. Russia's new phase. The cat is done playing for Dugin. The implications are clear. Russia's era of playing nice is over. He writes that Russia must abandon its image as a peace-loving, patient civilization. No more waiting. No more hoping the West pulls back. Instead, he calls for a new ideology based not on diplomacy or balance, but power, faith, and survival. Total war readiness, economically, militarily, spiritually. And yes, even nuclear first use, if it means preventing annihilation by globalist forces? This isn't rhetorical escalation. It's the adoption of a wartime posture. From Dugin's lens, the West isn't bluffing anymore, and neither should Russia. The age of consequence. So where does that leave us? The old world, the one with rules, treaties, diplomacy, is over. The atomic taboo, broken. The ideological war, fully global. The consequences, unfolding in real time. Alexander Dugin doesn't warn lightly. He's not a fringe voice in Russia. He's an architect of its strategic worldview. And his message is clear. World War III has already begun. And whether we like it or not, the final act is underway. This is the Watchtower Report, where strategy meets reality. Subscribe, stay aware, and remember, the world is no longer waiting.